The next stop brings us to Minneapolis, where former members of the Golden Gophers football squad worked out for NFL scouts, including one who didn't have to travel far to scope out a potential draft pick within the group. That being Minnesota Vikings head coach Brad Childress. What did he make of the workouts? Natalie Kane has more.
Minnesota Pro Day is an opportunity for eligible Gophers to showcase their talents, including speed, strength, and agility, to name a few. For some players, it was their first opportunity to impress scouts, and for others who performed at the Combine in Indianapolis, it was a chance to improve upon their first performance. But Pro Day isn't just a physical test, it's also mentally challenging.
Especially when you've been training for 3 months, for one day, for today. You're just visualizing constantly, the past couple months, and when you have this moment, you got to shine. And it's just like football on the football field. You have the opportunity to make a big play. You got to make it.
Mentally, you have to have your mind right. You're just doing a lot of testing. You're doing like brain stuff, psychological tests. You're in the doctor's office making sure all your bones are intact. It's crazy.
Just coming out and being able to perform after being kind of behind closed doors and working out, and just those 2 months of preparation, just being able to come out here and showcase. It's definitely a stressful time, but it's definitely an exciting time.
It's a great opportunity to come out and see the kids, especially since we're right down the road, and they have a big senior class, and they have some very good players here. I know, everybody knows about Decker, but there are a lot of good guys. They're going to be late round free agent guys that will end up in camps.
Well, it's always good to see these guys get out here. All the height, weight, speed stuff is great. The jumps are great, but I'm really here to watch these guys go through football activities, and their tape is their resume, but it's always interesting to watch them move.
Just when you watch them all on tape, I think Tim Brewster's done an outstanding job here, and the kids play hard on tape. And, they showed a pretty good account of themselves.
It's cool to see him in that other role, kind of spectator rather than, head coach, and kind of seeing all of us guys compete, because, he kind of seems like a little kid in a candy shop.
Well, I'm just very proud of our kids. They've worked so hard for this day, for the opportunity to play in the National Football League, and this is just a great event, and I'm really excited about the number of NFL people we have here.
Growing up, loving the NFL and everything, just watching them all the time, and then finally you're walking, you get a phone call from like Andy Reid or something like, hey, you got a meeting right here. So you walk in the room, you see Andy Reid, and you see all the cool guys that you've seen like ever since you've been young.
I'm ready to make an actual career out of this, and it's just something that I've always wanted to do, and it's just great to have this opportunity to come out here and perform in front of these scouts.
Get an opportunity to meet with these kids, kind of talk to them on the side a little bit, get to know them a little bit more. We have a lot of our coaches down here, get a chance to do some individual drills that maybe you did not see at the Combine.
I set my numbers at the Combine, and I proved them today. So, definitely came out and did what I had to do, and had some fun doing it.
It's just like, at your Combine, you maxed out. Like if I did a 40-inch vertical at the Combine, I'm going to come here, if I do like a 40.5, it's not really a big difference, And plus at the Combine, you have everybody there. Every head coach, every GM, every linebacker coach that's there is at the Combine. So Pro Day is really just like something that, if you don't feel comfortable, you can improve your numbers.
You're always looking to improve in anything you can do. Whether it's your broad jump vertical or the skill work you're going to do with the scout team, you always want to improve.
I feel like the explosive components, the height, weight, speed, jumps, that type of thing are all written down for everybody to see. But I just want to see how they carry their bodies and how they've worked here in the off-season.
But again, it's always going to come down to what you're seeing on tape when you were evaluating them in the fall. And as our coaches are going through this process of the evaluation to get them caught up on everything, when we come back together in our draft meetings, it'll be always what comes down on tape. But it's great also because it's a big influence on who we take, on whether they're going to be a fit for what we were looking for, not only on the field but off the field.
You can't put a premium on being able to look somebody in the eye and kind of see how they're competing with the other 10 guys that are running around, regardless of skills or abilities. So I always like to get somebody's eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Each of these Minnesota players already has an impressive resume on tape. But for scouts and for the coaches, sometimes the most impressive test of Pro Day is meeting face-to-face. In Minneapolis, I'm Natalie Kane, Big Ten Network.
Eric Decker's career at Minnesota officially came to an end when he had surgery to repair a torn ligament in his left foot. And now, after months of rehab and individual workouts, Decker, who did not participate in all the drills at the Minnesota Pro Day, did use the time to meet and greet with the scouts and sell his abilities as an NFL wide receiver. Natalie Kane caught up with the Gopher standout who offered up his opinion.
You know, I was excited. I flew in last night, got here, got to see everybody this morning. That was the biggest thing. You know, I wanted to come back home and kind of cheer on my guys and see everybody, see how they're doing. And I got a chance to bench, got 19 reps, which was a better performance than at the combine. So I was happy about that. And now, you know, the rest of my day is probably going to just talk with scouts, talk with coaches, and really just kind of support my guys here.
Let's talk about your experience at the combine. What was that like?
It was crazy, let me tell you. Flew in a day early, which was nice. You know, got accommodated to the time change. And then next morning, woke up at 6:30, went to the hospital, x-rays, medical checks, blood work, heart work. Went back to the hotel, did a couple tests, and then had interviews all night till midnight. And then next morning, woke up at 4:30 for a drug test. Again, with the orthopedics, did 5-6 hours of exams again, so yanking on your joints and stuff. Went back, had more meetings till midnight, and then third day had psychological tests all morning. Again, meetings all night, and then finally Sunday was our big day, which was kind of my off day, just to be there and watch everybody compete.
Did you feel like it was more mentally straining or physically straining?
For me, mentally, definitely. You know, long days, not much sleep, and just, you know, they always filled time with something. So, you know, you're always doing something, always working the brain, and it was a great experience. I mean, I had a blast, but, you know, by the end of it, I was ready to go home and get some sleep.
A little exhausted.
A little exhausted.
What'd you do to prepare?
You know, I was at API in Phoenix, Arizona. Did a lot of therapy on my foot. Feel great now. And another thing I did was just strength, upper body strength, lower body strength, trying to get my range of motion back, staying fit. And I worked with Roy Green, who was a receiver and defensive back in the NFL. So I worked on a lot of catching drills and just really sat there and just took in as much as I could, being a student of the game, route running, and everything that, you know, it takes to be a good receiver.
How is your foot?
Feels great. You know, I've been walking around for the last couple of weeks, and I got surgery coming up on Monday, the March 15th. So I'm excited to get that over with and get myself on that path of recovery. I got a couple months left, but I'll be full go by June.
How do you keep yourself in shape when you're injured?
We were talking about, I'm Michael Phelps Jr.
Yes.
I've been in that pool, doing a lot of lap work. Man, I tell you what, I got all the respect for swimmers. That's a tough sport, but I feel great with that. I'm doing elliptical, walking around, and then we got this Ultra G machine, which is ultimately a bubble around a treadmill, so it takes off body weight, so I'm able to, you know, pick up the speed and get my normal walking gait back.
Now, you lifted here today. You were doing the bench press. What was your number?
19.
Did you feel good about it?
I felt good, yeah. I think I could have got that 20, but 19 was a good number for me.
And how did you do in Indiana?
I got 18 unofficially, 15 officially. So
19, you
bumped it up.
Yeah, you did. That was
Yeah.
a good thing. So what else are you going to do here today?
Hang out. You know, I'm really here just to support everybody and be able to show my face to some of these scouts too, introduce myself, talk with them if they have questions, go over board work if they have X and O questions about offense, about my experience, whatever it could be.
What did you think about your teammates here today? Anyone stand out for you?
Marcus Sherrill's put on about 15 pounds. He
Wow.
benched well. And he ran, I got him on 4.3, so I heard 4.3, so he looks good so far. You know, Lee, Tripp, and Simone have also were at the combine. They did a great job here running their 40s and doing the tests they need to do. And everybody else, I mean, everybody's looking great. You know, I'm happy for everybody because we had a long ride, you know, 4 years together, and I've enjoyed seeing them, you know, try to make the next step.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be kind of bittersweet.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
Taking a quick glance at Decker's career numbers at Minnesota, he was the school's career leader in catches and receiving yards. 11 games with more than 100 yards receiving. Pretty impressive numbers that Decker hopes will translate into a phone call on draft day.